well as Bobby Gomes. 2 hours NBA DFS conversation, taking y'all straight up the lock. We're here for the first hour and 25, give or take, handing it off to the Crunch Time crew. That's Kevin Roth. I believe he'll be steering the ship. I believe it's TJ Zwarych, and I'd say saw the pick. Was it Andre? I think it was Andre. All right, taking y'all straight up the lock. Bobby, we got plenty of time to get comfortable. 9-gamer. The Warriors not playing a lot of basketball. They're going to be playing, but a lot of their studs, they're resting on the back half, but back-to-back. LeBron is technically questionable, but, it's an ESPN game. I assume he's going to give it a go. It's late, so want to be certain of that. We got the midday downgrade to Nikola Jokic. That's a big deal. He's got a hamstring. He is questionable as well. As far as other body parts we're monitoring, there's several. Donovan Mitchell has that groin, so he's questionable. And Najee Marshall, he's got a toe. I think those are the big ones. I might have missed something. But, yeah, the Warriors just kind of ruling everybody out. Gordon Hayward's probable. Look at that. That's not in this slate, but that's surprising because he's been doubtful for like the last 17 games. What's up, Bobby? How are things in your world?
Been going very good. Good to get that Charlotte Hornet wing news in advance, right? You always like that.
You can never be too quick to prepare. You can never be too early, I suppose.
Yeah. It's been a tough day for value, I would say, just around this slate in general. Now we got some Warriors out this morning. Like, we were really starved. DFS was the guy that was hitting all the optimals, I feel like.
Was he? I did not.
Smith, yeah.
Not playing.
Yeah, it's just we have all this news with the Warriors. Don't mind considering some of their guys. I think some of these guys. Sabonis got Q-tagged, right? Was it Sabonis that got Q-tagged midday?
So, no, he was I believe he's upgraded now. He missed last game with an illness. He participated in shoot-around, and now he is upgraded to being available to play tonight. And great. He's going to smash. He's available to smash against his former team, OKC. Love Sabonis. I was hopeful that lineup would come out later, like 6, 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock as far as the news for Sabonis. But because I figured that's going to push down ownership on him. But he looks awesome tonight. And the Jokic thing, I don't know. Why would you give this guy a midday downgrade if you're not going to rest him? They're also like 11, 10-point favorites versus the Pacers, who they probably don't need Jokic. It's a home game, so the home fans want to see him. But I think it's one of those deals where he would play if it's the playoffs, and maybe he's dealing with something. Probably, they're all dealing with something, right? And he exerts himself a lot, but I assume he's going to sit as far as Jokic. It's just a guess.
I think that makes sense. For what it's worth, they don't blow. It seems like they never blow teams out.
Denver?
Yeah, Denver. But I do think, it does seem likely that he'll sit with the midday downgrade. So I don't know. That was the thing. I think Jamal Murray would definitely become in play. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, maybe some Bones Highland in that scenario. It's going to be an interesting slate. You excited for it, Dean? How you doing?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I ran some optimals pre-show. I always do this, and I didn't see the DFS one. And this
was like early today. This was prior to the Warriors. Every Warrior being out. Like, there was no way at all. It's like 10 a.m.
I'll tell you, I'm not excited for messing with the Knicks stuff as far as who's going to be their starting center. I believe Tibbs said he's going to play 3 centers, and it's hard. Hartenstein. We'll talk about that when we get there. There's several options. Hartenstein could start the game and play 17 minutes. It could be completely worthless. I don't think I want to mess with that. DeMichael Green is a guy that could potentially, is getting some projection for Golden State. I don't trust that one so much either. We have Kuminga coming back for Golden State. I'm wondering how many minutes they're willing to delegate to him, because they're essentially throwing the game out, right? But I think he's really interesting. I'm curious to see what that Golden State starting lineup looks like. But I don't think I want to play. I don't want to be over the field on Knicks centers like Sims or Hartenstein. Mitch Rob is out for a while, if you guys don't know. I'm excited to see Memphis. And so here you go. On the expert survey today, they ask you, what's an interesting fact? What's something interesting that helps you like as far as research process for the slate? And something I found that was pretty interesting is a lot of 9 games. We have the slowest team in the league, the Cleveland Cavaliers, playing against the fastest team in the league, pace. Pace is a big deal on the slate. Cleveland plays the slowest. Golden State plays the fastest. Granted, this is not, your friend of yesterday's Golden State Warriors, but the 29th slowest team, Dallas, plays the 28th slowest team, Miami. Luka is still Luka, and he's incredible, but this is not the greatest Luka spot. Maybe he only gets 75 fantasy points, but yeah, it's not the greatest Luka spot. So, pace, Miami, not a great team to necessarily attack. Then you have OKC and Sacramento, 6th fastest team versus 2nd fastest team. Love that game environment. And then you have Memphis and the Lakers, 5th fastest, 3rd fastest. Problem is Memphis's defense is the best in the league. But like LeBron is still LeBron last I checked. So yeah, I'm excited for like the Memphis Lakers game. I just thought it was worth sharing. I'm always interested in the teams that's playing way up in pace or way down in pace, or two teams that go fast as is, going off against each other. And inversely, Dallas and Miami, two teams that like to go slow, which makes the game a little bit less appealing. But yeah, I just thought that was worth throwing out there as far as pace stuff. Any that sounding interesting to you?
It's definitely interesting because, like I said, I don't think outside of the Warriors' value, there's not much really standing out. And it gives us opportunity to backload because both those games are later on the slate. So, yeah, I think attacking the fast-paced games are probably the way to go, and it leaves you availability. If it is the NBA, right, things can change on a dime, and we'll have some spots open if you're playing those guys.
What is interesting here, according to the chat, what's up, chat? What's up, YouTube? Kindly hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Do all the things, hit all the buttons, keeps the proverbial lights on. John in chat is telling me that apparently the projections team made a bold maneuver. They've removed Joker. Is that true? That's interesting because they usually don't do that unless they feel really, really confident because he's technically questionable, right? And that's going to make Denver pretty interesting. Let's see. We have an update as of 5 minutes ago in the old lineup HQ. So we got, Jokic has been removed. Jamal Murray, you're giving him 41 DK points at 6'6". Yeah, man. What time is that game? 9 o'clock? Yeah, let's hopefully. I feel like that's going to happen. Maybe we don't get this news officially until like 7:30 or something like that. There's only one 7 o'clock game. Gordon gets a nice little bump. Porter Jr., 30 points at 5'3" is useful. Bruce Brown is useful. We're giving DeAndre Jordan 26 minutes, 26 fantasy points. He's 3-3. I mean, maybe. Okay. But there's Zeke Naji still there. Kankar, Jeff Green might get some run. So that's not, I wouldn't etch it in stone as far as DeAndre Jordan getting 26 minutes. When he does, he's useful. I like him better than the New York guys, I think. I don't know how much I need that stuff, though. It's kind of the question. As far as lineup building, are we messing with this stuff? I don't know. You tell me. Bobby, I believe you are on mute. Sorry. Bobby? I believe you're still on mute.
Still on mute? Am I
Now you're not. Now you're good.
Now I'm good. Yeah, I like Murray at 6'6". I think he's fine. The DeAndre Jordan stuff, yeah, I think we're giving him 26. I want to see where other people have him around the industry just before I get too overexcited about DeAndre Jordan. It is a good matchup versus the Pacers, but he is DeAndre Jordan.
The year is 2023.
The year is 2023. Exactly, Dean. These other guys, like I think Michael Porter Jr. is interesting in this scenario. Could make a case for Aaron Gordon. I think I'd prefer Porter for the savings. But those are like the main guys that stand out.
It's interesting. Like, yeah, you're talking about that game is at 9 o'clock, right? Denver, Indiana. Brooklyn, Utah is later. Memphis, Lakers, OKC, Sacramento. Like, theoretically, I'm just trying to think. Like, you could make a lineup with just guys from 9 o'clock and beyond, and I think you could be okay. Or is there any – well, I mean, you're missing the Warriors guys, and I would assume at least one guy from Golden State will be useful. They have, 10 bodies today?
I think 11.
They got 11 now. Okay, then I missed
Michael Green and Kuminga are probable. They have 9 anyways, I think. So
let's officially count. Poole, we got our projected lineup of Poole, DiVincenzo, Lamb. We're giving Kuminga the start. That's interesting. And Looney back in the starting lineup. What was interesting is they kicked Looney to the bench yesterday. They started Poole. That was kind of surprising. And I'm only seeing 5 on the bench: JaMychal Green, Moody, Jerome, Baldwin, and Rollins. I think Rollins was just recalled from the G League. Is there 11th person I'm missing? Or the
No, that's correct. I was reading Underdog quick. I think you get it right.
Okay. Yeah, so I feel like, and it's not like you have some 3K guys and some 5K guys maybe getting the right Golden State Warrior. Like we've also seen, like this offense can completely collapse, and it's a tough matchup against a slow team, right? They could score like 82 points. Like that's possible too. And we've seen plenty of times this year where it's the Jordan Poole show. If you run the court IQ and his usage is 97%, but then he goes out there and shoots like 2 for 20, right? Just because it's harder for him. The spacing is a little bit trickier when Steph and Clay are not in the court, surprisingly enough. So it makes for tougher shots and percentages go down. But, math is going to tell you Poole's a good play today for what it's worth. It's just trying to think how much you can delay, how much you can backload as far as this lineup. And the very first game, depending on the Marshall news, I suppose, we'll get that one at some point. If not, our portion of the show, the Crunch Time crew will talk about it. He's actually projecting pretty well for New Orleans against Orlando. Actually, is there anything else we should point out before we kind of do the old the game by game and just go around the horn and everything else will come up organically?
I think that's it. Everything will come up organically. Everything else we need to cover.
What was the wager in chat? I'm just checking it out here. What was the line here? We're 10 minutes in and the over-under. Oh, over-under on 1.5 mutes is already hit. Yeah. Did you double mute? Is that what happened? Is that what you smashed the over?
I double muted. Yeah. I double muted.
Right.
So I crushed
paper.
the over. The fix was in there. The fix was in.
That was fishy for sure. You know one of my favorite things to do on Twitter, and I use the term favorite loosely, is I go to like the mentions for like DraftKings Sportsbook and like Fanduel Sportsbook, and I read the crazy things that people are saying.
No, they're insane. Someone was like, someone claimed like Utica was a bot the other day or something ridiculous.
Yeah. So apparently I think it was like DraftKings or FanDuel. I think it was DraftKings. They have like a boost for like Embiid and Lillard, like you get this. And they said, how rigged is this game? Like, it's like, take me through the logic, the steps, because like what you think Embiid and Lillard, like, okay, they boosted us up today, so I can't score as much. Gotcha. Yeah. How much are they possibly making of this? What piece of the action does Embiid get? What piece of the action does Lillard get? Like, what is the thought process on this? Oh, these people are, and this is the problem, right? Because we have a bunch of people sports gambling for the first time with like all these states now regulating it, and people just assume like there's got to be a reason why
everything's fixed. Yeah.
Like, let's risk the entire integrity of the league on the DraftKings Sportsbook.
The integrity of the NBA has been questioned before, Dean. So
it has.
Maybe we're missing something.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like goofy things don't happen. I'm sure like what the whole thing with the ref, like the lone gunman, whatever. Like he probably wasn't the only guy in on it, right? I'm forgetting the dude's name from like the 2000 or something. What's the guy that had the Netflix documentary?
I know. Yeah, I forget his name too, but that's what I was. That's what I was talking about.
It probably wasn't the only game to ever be, fixed, right? Or whatever.
They have that guy who's like the fixer for playoff games, right? He's always in getting them.
Yeah. These things do happen, but yeah. All right.
He keeps them close or whatever.
Yeah. It's like Mario Kart.
Foster, the ref. Yeah.
If you play Mario Kart, I think like there's a certain artificial, you can only fall so far behind. They want to give everybody a chance to catch up at the end. I think it's something similar to that.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
No matter how many times you crash. Okay. Well, let's talk about the slate. First game, it's New Orleans. It's Orlando. 228.5 is the total. New Orleans is a 2-point favorite here on the road. Again, lots of minutes potentially to go around for New Orleans. We can get some pretty legit value if both things fall the right way. Zion and Ingram, of course, are both out. Herb Jones and Marshall are both questionable. As far as the Orlando side, what is it? Franz Wagner, I believe, is questionable, and everybody else is essentially good to go. It's possible we lose Marshall and Jones. That's 65 minutes to go around. I was looking to see if we had a what if, and here we go. Okay, if you didn't have one like 15 minutes ago, let's give it a refresh. what if these guys sit? Let's say if we happen to have one for – we don't. We have one for Donovan Mitchell. We have one for Jokic, and that's why they just sort of published. Okay, but let's kind of use our brains for this one. The New Orleans side, right? If we lose 34 minutes from Marshall and 29 minutes from Jones,
I think we'd get Hayes starting with Nance backing up with a 4 and 5. So you might get some Nance alongside Valanciunas.
Yeah, I think it opens up the possibility for those two guys to play alongside each other. It doesn't happen a lot, but it's happened before. But they might be kind of sort of forced into it. Daniels probably draws a start, I think. It might be Daniels.
Yep.
Alvarado, I'm not sure if he starts, but I think the chances of him closing are pretty increased. But I want to see that starting lineup. If Marshall goes, he's a pretty good play.
I think he's a good play as well.
Yeah. Talk to me about the New Orleans and their matchup here against Orlando.
Yeah, so if Marshall I think Marshall's a good play. He's going to see 34 minutes, maybe plus. He might see like more than that, just depending on what the scenario is. Outside of that, like Valanciunas is getting a good bit of ownership at 6'8". It's just a matter of his minutes. Like at the beginning of the year, he's seeing like 25 minutes, and now he's been seeing situations where he's getting more run than that. And I don't know where his ownership's at. He seems like someone I'd want to be fading in tournaments. I don't know if his ownership's come down since the morning, though, with the Warriors news, but still, I don't know how much Valanciunas I want. And I don't know if I want to lock up too much in terms of this first game, just because, like we talked about, backloading and having the late swap equity is probably pretty valuable on the slate. CJ McCollum, I just think where he's priced, he makes for a good tournament play, especially with Zion and Brandon Ingram out. Like he's seeing increase in terms of his usage, and it's just it's a good spot for him for tournaments. I don't mind getting to him. Those two would be like the main guys, and then outside of the ancillary pieces, if Marshall and Herb Jones sit, I think Trey Murphy would be someone that would step in a little bit as well, and he might be someone you'd want to get to in this situation, just at 4.8. But those are the main guys that I'm targeting.
Yeah, the CJ thing is interesting. He's going to run the show, but like his price has been adjusted, and point guard is loaded today. You have Fox and SGA going at each other in an awesome matchup there. OKC versus Sacramento. Ja versus the Lakers should be awesome. Luka, always, you always got to consider him. As a cheapie, I think DiVincenzo is pretty interesting. As a full cheapie, possibly Ty Jerome could be interesting. If Mitchell's out, Darius Garland's great. However long that game is competitive, Garland's just going to smash out there versus Golden State, whatever's left of them. And if Jokic is out, which we think is going to be out, Jamal Murray at 6'6" on DK, that's egregious. That's an awesome play. And I didn't even mention Kyrie. You can certainly play Kyrie as well. It's loaded, which is why it's just hard to get McCollum for me. And again, like you said, you're buying yourself some time as well. Like, it's possible. Can he get there? Sure. Wouldn't discourage it, but I don't see myself prioritizing McCollum on the slate. It's not his fault. It's just the slate is really, really good. Like producer Devin in chat, he's giving us, there's an official term, by the way, for that Mario Kart deal. It's called rubber banding. He says it's for babies. Devin's very upset about this. He wants to be able to lap his wife when he's playing Mario Kart, apparently. But it's just I think they just sort of like make it so like you always still have a chance, I suppose. But you got to close strong. How about the Magic? The Magic to me are one of the more uninteresting teams on the slates. I think Wendell Carter is about the only interesting piece. Sure, if you want to play 150 Banchero, you can work him in. Bull might draw the start if Franz Wagner is out. I don't know if that moves the needle enough. Has he even been? I mean, we got 16 minutes on him. I guess he would start. Maybe he's interesting. But what do you have as far as the Magic? To me, not one of the more interesting teams in the slate.
Yeah, so they're pretty much full squad, right? Unless Franz sits. In that case, like, they're very tough to get to on the slate just because of basically all the other plays that we have. Markelle Fultz, I don't mind him at 6K. Think he does, if Franz were to sit, I think him and Banchero are probably the two that benefit the most. But they're more like tournament plays for me. Wendell
Franz
Carter, I
by
think.
the way, not to interrupt you, but Franz is in.
He's in. So all these guys are pretty much GPP plays for me. I think Carter's priced the most efficiently. If you get to him, that's fine, but mainly just one-off GPP plays outside of Wendell Carter.
All right. Next up, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. What is left of them playing in the back-to-back? They're traveling as well. They've been horrendous all season on the road. And, of course, they're without, the list of the Warriors that are out tonight. Pretty much anyone that's viable. No Clay, no Wiggins, no Draymond, no Curry. So 4 of their 5 starters. Poole and Looney presumably going to start tonight alongside. We got DiVincenzo, Anthony Lamb, and Kuminga. And, again, 10 other dudes. 10 total. JaMychal Green, who I think has not played in a while, so I don't know how much they're going to push him. Baldwin and Rollins coming up from the G League. And then they got Moody and Jerome. All right, they're facing the Cavaliers. I can't see Cleveland forcing Mitchell to play tonight. It doesn't seem like they need him, Again, that's my guess. I don't think Mitchell plays. Do you have a thought on that?
I don't think he plays either, and I think that would open up Garland and Jared Allen and Mobley as run backs. We've kind of seen. Garland did really well on the spot the other night. But if he does play, I don't think I have a ton of interest in Mitchell just at his price tag.
That's kind of where I'm at too. I think Garland's interesting too. I think this is a spot where he can put up 35 points in the bucket if Mitchell doesn't go, assuming Golden State keeps it relatively close. Golden State, of course, the more interesting side in this game as far as our minute delegation. And I'm running a court IQ as well. Kicking off, let's see, can't do everybody. Let's kick off Draymond, Steph, Clay, and Wiggins. Let's see what we get as far as usage and all that good stuff. We're giving 34 minutes to DiVincenzo, 34 to Lamb, 36 to Poole, 23 to Green. Jerome getting 20, Kuminga 25, Looney 25. Rollins 8, Moody 20, Baldwin 15. That's our best guess. As far as usage, that's the thing here, Bobby. Jordan Poole's got a 36.1% usage, which is amazing. That is an awesome, awesome number. You need some efficiency as well, but that's why he is pretty interesting. How are you handling the Warriors? Because I feel like you're going to want at least one. I think you're going to want at least one in every lineup. You tell me.
It seems like it's going to get a little dicey. Yeah, I'm going to want at least one Warrior. I think DiVincenzo is likely the strongest for me at this point. At 5-1, you could go to Ty Jerome for the savings, but I don't think we currently have Ty Jerome projected starting, correct? I don't think
20 minutes is what we got for him.
Yeah, we don't currently have him starting. If he does start, he would probably be my favorite at 3K. Kuminga, I'm worried about the run. I feel like you have the same concerns, I would say. Just because first game back, it's going to be, is he going to play as much as he would likely play in this scenario? Anthony Lamb, I think he's fine. It's just tough. We're getting these Warriors, it could all go to Poole, and then Poole could shoot terrible, like you kind of hit on, and they're just shaky value. I will try to have at least one. I don't know how high I like Jordan Poole seeing this insane usage rate, but I don't know if I want to play Jordan Poole chalk in this situation. But I definitely would be wanting to get to one of DiVincenzo or Moody. I mean, not Moody, Jerome. Or at least just get exposure to someone on this team in my lineups.
If I play Poole, I think I'd like to run it back with either Garland, assuming Mitchell's out, or one of the Cleveland bigs, Allen or Mobley. I don't think I'm going to force that, but I think that's a good tiebreaker, I suppose, if I'm just kind of making lineups, because if Poole's doing his thing, you got to assume the game's staying closer. He's the best chance for Golden State to keep this game close. As far as ownership stuff, this is as of 2:30, so this is going to change. We're going to get a new ownership batch. Yeah. But what's interesting is Lamb at 26%, DiVincenzo at 29%, Poole at 25%, the JaMychal Green at 16%. That one, we're giving him 23 minutes and 19 fantasy points. He's not played in a month. He was in the hospital. He had a leg. I think he had COVID as well. He's old. I don't. Maybe I'm missing something. Unless he starts, I don't think JaMychal Green plays a ton of minutes. I just don't think so. So he's one of my least favorite Warriors. When did we see Kuminga last? How many games did he miss? Like 5 or 6 or something like that. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of ramp up he's going to get. Let's see. He had a foot, and we've not seen him in 20 days. So he's another one I'm a little bit concerned about. But theoretically, like if he starts, I'm interested to some degree.
What are they going to do for like bigs though? That's probably why we're giving Green the minutes.
That's the problem. Like because you're facing the Cavs, and
the front court is enormous with Allen and Mobley. Like
it's a good point. It's not a good team to go unless you're trying to.
It's going to be very difficult for them to go small here.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Like Rollins is small, Jerome is small, Moody's small. They definitely have more wings, more smalls than bigs. Maybe that means. I mean, they don't really give. How many minutes do they give Looney? Could they give him I think Looney was benched down the stretch last night. He was. I don't think it was in preparation. I think it's just they like the matchup there against Boston. He didn't start yesterday either. But maybe Looney plays 30 minutes or so. What do we get?
I would think Looney would pick up. I don't know, like Looney at that time. I don't hate Looney because they're gonna need him. What do we have him? 25 minutes?
25. I mean, if this game's close, I'll take the over on that.
Yeah.
But maybe they're baking in some potential blowout stuff, and that's
maybe this is why they sat him last night though, because it wasn't a good matchup, and they knew they need him for tomorrow. If they anticipated sitting all these guys,
yeah, I'm not sure, but that's a great point because unless they're just like screw it, we're gonna small, you're gonna big, and we'll figure it out. We're gonna bang a bunch of threes on you. Hopefully, some 3-point variances on our side.
We don't think he'll see like 35 minutes. Like you might see 5 more minutes, right? Like.
I wouldn't think so. And what's the most he's played all season long?
Yeah, I mean,
obviously the situation is different, because we basically haven't seen. We've seen this kind of situation before, but I don't know. We haven't seen it where like Kuminga is just coming back, and we're not sure how many minutes he's going to push for. The other big Green, who knows? What's the most minutes he's played?
I've seen him play 32 minutes.
Okay.
He's played it once.
Who was it against?
Atlanta.
A team that plays true bigs at center. Interesting. I mean, I never like rostering Looney. Like, what is his upside?
No, this is what I'm saying. Like, this value is not great. 100 likes and you're wrapped, Dean. 100 likes and you're wrapped.
No, dude, you know what? I don't have that ability, unfortunately.
I heard you did, though. That's what people were saying in the chat.
I don't know who was saying that, but those people are lying. That's not the case, unfortunately. Not in my repertoire, not my skill set. If you were to rank your interest as far as the Warriors, where would it be? Is it? I think
it's tough. Like DiVincenzo, Jerome, Poole, Kuminga, Lamb, Kuminga, Looney, Lamb. I guess I don't know. That's how I would rank them. DiVincenzo and Jerome are definitely the two that, just because we're so starved for value. I know Poole's the best play with 35% usage, but I can go other places on the slate.
Just trying to see, how much is this different from Anthony Lamb? Is 12.3% usage. That's terrible.
Yeah.
What is he on the season? He's losing 2.3% as far as usage. That's weird. In 227 minutes, that's when you're taking Curry, Clay, Draymond, and Wiggins off the court. He's even more passive. Interesting. And yeah, guy it's going to be like 30%. At least he was projected 25% owned. 0.71 fantasy points per minute, which is the lowest amongst everybody that kind of running off here as well. Moody at 0.72. Looney 0.98. Is that basically what he is for the season? I think it's a little bit of a bump, right? I kept Wiseman in there. I don't know how much that affects things, but there are 122 minutes for Wiseman. He, of course, is not available as well. Yeah, it's tough. Your official stance on Poole is what?
I don't think I'm going to play him.
How many lineups is that?
If I was playing 150, I'd be playing him, but I'm playing 6 teams on DK, so if he hits one, I'm not going to go overweight. If he hits 1 or 2, I'm definitely not taking a strong. I want to be off of him if I can.
As we talked about, Mitchell is out. Yeah, this did not make a lot of sense for them to play him tonight. Why would they force him back versus, half, whatever is left of the Warriors, which means, Garland is pretty interesting. Do we have an if-then on that? Let's see. We do. And we have Garland bumped all the way up to 45 DK points and 43 on FanDuel. Pretty big DK value. LeVert getting 33 fantasy points now. Allen and Mobley right around 35 are pretty positive. Yeah. A lot of it's going to depend upon how long this game stays close. And, of course, it could just be a close game, right? 11 points, I think, is the line. If it's an 11-point game with 3 minutes to go, you got to assume all the regulars are out there. But, you want to
LeVert seems like someone at 5'4" who we're going to have more interest in now, right?
Yeah, I think so. Man. This is a tricky game. I feel like we should have some rules for this, but I'm trying to figure out what the rules are. I think if you're playing 2 Warriors, but the Warriors got to play no matter what. But I guess Poole and Looney and Green probably wouldn't close if it gets super ugly, right? Then it'll be like Baldwin and Rollins if you think it's just going to full on blowout.
You're running back Poole, Looney, and JaMychal Green pretty much.
Well, no, I'm thinking.
I don't think you're playing Green, right?
I don't think I want to play Green. I'm just thinking. I was just thinking of if this game gets blown out, who I could confidently say is not going to be playing the last 5 minutes, whatever it is. If the Warriors lose by 25 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not going to be Poole. It's not going to be Looney. I doubt it will be Kuminga, really, because it's his first game back.
Yeah. This game's going to be popping for sure. You're tying yourself to something that a lot of stuff at 7:30. I don't think you can flat out fade it. Even
DiVincenzo sits, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
At that tag though, you could play. I don't think you need to make a rule just because he's 5K. Like he could get there.
Let's see. What was DiVincenzo's usage in that sample? 19.7%, about a fantasy point per minute. Fine. And he's going to play 33, 34, 35 minutes, something like that. If this game is close, he looks like a pretty solid play to me. Lamb is fine, but if he's going to be 25, 30% owned, like one of the higher owned guys in Golden State, I'm a little bit less interested.
Yeah. If he's going to be super chalky with that, he's not the best fantasy point per minute guy.
He's the worst on this team in the sample. Yeah. He's going to play some minutes, of course. He'll stick around for, I think we're giving him about 30 minutes or so. What do we, 34? So, he can compile. But, going to be interesting. And hitting the old refresh on lineup HQ, seeing if we're getting something new. But spending a lot of time in this game because I think this game matters a lot. All right, maybe we'll circle back and we'll run some optimals afterwards. Let's see, 5. Oh, you know what? I think we're already way ahead of it. I think we have Mitchell ruled out. We do. Okay, good. What do optimals look like now? I'm curious. Gonna run it and see if anything pops here. And we also have Jokic ruled out, so I'm assuming Jamal Murray's jumping in there as well, assuming that Jokic is out. And they're making a bold call there, the projection team. Let's see what gets fired off for us. I'm running 150. That's why it's taking a buy. I'm saying words to buy time.
Yeah. Should I be helping you?
No. Well, I should have threw it to you, but yeah, we got it's going to be popping up any second now. All right. I should have just made 100 instead of 150.
Jared Allen, Garland, and LeVert hitting optimals are hitting our first optimal. Yeah.
Very first optimal I'm seeing. I added some variants to it. I don't know if you pumped that in there just to kind of see what we got. Garland, LeVert, 2 guys in the Cavs, and 3 Warriors. Poole, DiVincenzo, and Lamb. Interesting. Yeah. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I'm seeing DiVincenzo, LeVert, Lamb, Allen, Garland, Marshall still in there.
Nobody's hitting my cap, by the way. I could at 71%, and the highest number, because this is a really good slate. There's a lot of good options, and I got to add some variance to it as well, is LeVert at 50%. He's in 50% of lineups. And now Vito in chat's telling me that Marshall is out. This is wild because
now you're getting a ton of value because you might get Jackson Hayes at 3K.
He may start. There's some fragility to him, but certainly he could be interesting. I think that's, the problem with, Alvarado is kind of interesting, but that point guard position is loaded. I wonder if we're getting Herb Jones as well.
If Herb Jones is out, then Trey Murphy, I think, would have been the guy. But Jones is in. I think Murphy still sees some increased usage.
Okay, so Herb is in. Marshall is out. Okay. And Valanciunas is also like hitting optimals too. I hate the idea of getting all these guys this early, which makes you think tournaments. I love this slate for tournaments. If you're, I like that LeBron's not hitting optimals. I like that Sabonis is not hitting optimals. Let's see, what do we have? Like John Morant at 19%.
But again, you get pool? What percentage are you getting pool when you ran that?
24%.
Yeah, I got him at 25.
Yeah, DiVincenzo 42. RJ Barrett's the other one, the kind of guy that makes stuff work. He's just priced down.
He's going to see a ton of minutes, Barrett, like usual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what we're projecting him for. We'll look at it in a second, but I would say like 38 to 40 is reasonable.
Yeah.
It's, Tibbs is out of his mind. They lost another starter. But
I think that, with Robbins, I feel like if Randall plays more than RJ Barrett's going to just see usage because of Robinson being out, Randall having to play the 5. Like, he's going to be the guy that kind of is stuck on the floor, I feel like.
That's actually our next game. So let's just kind of segue into it. New York and Atlanta, 229 is the total. Atlanta is a 3-point favorite here. We mentioned it before. Mitch Rob is out for the foreseeable future. I think like a month or so. I can't remember the number they put on it. Doesn't matter. Atlanta, they are fully healthy. Trae Young is good to go, with the exception of potentially Bogdan Bogdanovic is questionable. He's got that knee. But yeah, Brunson, Grimes, Barrett, Randall. We're assuming Hartenstein draws the start. He's the guy that came in directly for Mitch Rob when he got hurt. He also is the guy that started the second half and then just disappeared after like 5 minutes, never to be seen from again. Well, I guess he's going to be in the building tonight in Atlanta. They closed with Randall at the 5, and quickly they closed with Brunson, Grimes, Barrett, quickly, and Randall at the 5. Hartenstein, like historically, is a good fantasy point minute player, but this year, pretty big disappointment, right? Like, he's just not been good. And even his fantasy points per minute, 0.87. This guy, I feel like he used to be like 1.2 when he was on Houston. He was awesome on Houston the few times he got unleashed there. But I don't think I'm doing this. I'm not messing with this stuff. And I feel like the value, like the mid-tier stuff, like LeVert, gonna make it so like I don't have to mess with Hartenstein or Obi Toppin or Jericho Sims. Like I'm gonna ignore this situation. I don't think I'm playing any of these guys. What's your read?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna play some Hartenstein at 3K, just for the savings. I guess the value is kind of weak, so you could make the argument for the mid-tier bill. Obviously, Jericho Sims is like a large field GPP play. It's just a matter of like they're probably going to play 3 centers, right? It's going to be Hartenstein, Sims, and then Randall will play some 5, and that's where I think Barrett's going to be able to benefit probably the most, because he's stuck on the court in that situation. Just if you divvy up all those minutes,
he would jump up to the 4, I think.
Yeah, you jump up to the 4. So for me, like, I think Barrett's probably a very strong play. I like Hartenstein for the savings at 3K. I don't hate taking that savings. Randall is another guy who where do we have Randall owned at? Like he's under 5% owned. Like I'll definitely play Randall in GPPs. I like Brunson They just play so many minutes. Like I don't mind getting to these Knicks. Like I know it seems like it's the same analysis every day for Barrett, Brunson, and Randall.
Like Toronto.
Yeah, like Toronto. Tibbs is going to run them into the floor. So yeah, minutes equal money. I don't mind having the Brunsons and the Randalls and GPPs, and I think Barrett and Hartenstein make sense for like cash and tournaments.
For what it's worth, our projection team's got Sims and Hartenstein, 24 minutes and 22 minutes respectively. Kind of a hedge there, I think. But that might be. And that's sort of where I'm at in my head. Like, I don't think one guy plays enough where they're going to be somebody I need to have or I really want to have. This is sort of my stance on that. And, of course, there's an opportunity cost to centers as well. Sims is power forward eligible for what it's worth, so maybe he's a little bit more interesting. But I don't think – I mean, he's still minimum 3K, so – I guess if you're running 150, he's interesting, but also want to see who they start. But again, Hartenstein can absolutely start and play 20 minutes. He could play less. And it's not a great matchup against Atlanta either. You know, Capella and Okongwu, pretty solid. Brunson, I ran down those point guards earlier in the show. Remember I ran a whole bunch down? Did I say Brunson? No. It's nothing against him. It's just that, you know, he's fine. And also, like, Murray in this game is fine. And Trey is fine. You just can't play everybody. This slate is
I feel like they're both tournament plays.
Ownership-wise, as far as Atlanta, we have – well, you're getting a discount on DeJounte Murray. He's all the way down to 7-8 on DK, which I feel like that's about as cheap as he's been all season long. Am I wrong to say that? That sounds about as cheap as
for me, it's just like – I think I'd rather go to Trey at 9-4 for tournaments. Just Murray shooting. I don't know. I prefer Trey.
Trey at 4%. Let's see. Where does this ownership? Okay, we got to get an ownership update, but that's not going to change much. I think that's about right. I don't think people are flooding to Trey Young tonight. He's fine. You can always play him, but I don't think he gets. Certainly not in double digits. I say that pretty confidently for Trey. And we're saying 4%.
What if Bogdanovich sits? Then we'd be looking to like DeAndre Hunter at 4.8. Would that open up minutes for AJ Griffin? I feel like it would.
I don't know if anybody significantly gets a bump. Like Hunter would probably get like a little incremental bump, and like you're right, Griffin probably. But what Griffin plays 25 minutes, and what do we do with that? One of the Holiday brothers probably gets in the rotation and does something, but nothing of note. Like, how many minutes we give him Bogdanovich? 25, 30? 30.
30, yeah.
I just think they will be cut up in a way where I don't know if one person gets enough to be relevant. But yeah, if you like Hunter, he's probably a little bit better. Do we have an if-then on this?
We don't have an if-then.
But yeah, I don't think there's like one guy that would significantly be like, oh, well, now I got to play this person.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, but does solidify like Bogdanovich to a close. So I guess it would be Collins, Murray, Hunter, Trey. I mean, all those guys would be pretty solid as far as closing, right? And then who knows who the fifth guy would be? Not sure who it would be. Oh, but you know what? Capella could be jump. Well, it's probably one of Capella or Okongwu, and we might see Capella starting today. That wouldn't be shocking. We're still chopping those minutes up 23-25. But keep an eye on that because Capella is 5'4", and if he starts at 5'4", that could be interesting. Anything else here that we should note in the chat? They're talking about Barrett being chalky. Yeah, we mentioned him, and he was the one hitting a ton of optimals as well. And he's at 36% ownership, which is a pretty big number for a 9-gamer with a lot of good stuff out there. You think you'll be over that or under that?
Probably be right with the field.
Yeah. All right. Anything else that we should talk about, or should we move on?
I think we've covered the majority.
All right. So the Heat and the Mavericks are playing in a game that has a 218 total. We'll talk about how slow the pace is expected to be in this game. Miami, 2-point favorite here. As far as who's in and who's out, Miami, surprisingly, their injury report is kind of barren. There's nobody. I mean, nobody new. Like Jovic has been out for a while. Yurt 7, I don't know if we've seen him all season long. Haslam, forget it. Well, actually, he's available. Doesn't matter. Duncan Robinson, the only guy that might be in the rotation who's not playing. Dallas, they're going to be without Christian Wood for a while. Kleber's out. One interesting thing in this game that I thought was Dallas is one of the worst rebounding teams in the league, percentage-wise. And it feels like a good rebounding spot for Miami. Maybe Bam, gets loose. But, again, the environment's just not great. And then there's Luka. You can always play Luka. He's 10, 15% owned tonight? Where are you at as far as Luka and the Mavs?
Yeah, so Luka flop lag, 12-2, lack of value, busted the last time. Everyone had him. I mean 12-4, I'm sorry. He's 12-2 on FanDuel. I think he's interesting in tournaments. It's Luka Doncic, right?
What did he put up, by the way? You say bust, and I know he did, right?
He didn't get there relative to the expectation. What did he? I don't.
44. That's a huge bust for him.
Yeah.
Back-to-back games were 44 and 42. I don't know. Maybe he's getting tired. Not really sure, but yeah, that's.
So I would have interest in getting over on Luka tonight, right? You're taking Wood out. I know this isn't the best game to target, but the usage is so condensed. So if you're going to get Luka at lower ownership to LeBron, I might just play some Luka. I know you're getting Jimmy Butler defense or whatever. Miami's, it's slow paced. For me, I think it's an interesting spot to kind of get to Luka in tournaments. On the other side, Jimmy Butler, Bam, I think they're fine. I'd probably only have one guy for Miami if I'm getting to any of these guys at all. Tyler Herro at 6'7", I think that's an interesting tag. I think he's a little cheap. Seeing 30-plus minutes, he would be the third Heat that I've had of interest in. Everyone else with a full squad, I don't really have much interest.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's hard to get excited about it.
I don't love the Heat by any means. I think Bam would be my favorite, then Herro, then Jimmy.
Yeah, Bam's my favorite too, but I don't know if I'm going to get any.
Yeah,
but he's my favorite if I'm going to have to pick somebody. Trying to see. I thought Dinwiddie would get a bit of a bump, a little bit.
I think it might be Tim Hardaway Jr.
I took off Wood and Hardaway at 0.9 DK points per minute, 467-minute sample, 22.5% usage. Dinwiddie's got the biggest usage bump, 2.5%, but that's not a huge bump. Bertans, it is interesting. Again, Bam, right? You think about Bam. Look, who's Dallas's bigs? They're without Kleber.
Powell.
Yeah, Powell and JaVale. This is what's his name? The 3-point shooter, Bertans. Is that who they're going to?
Yeah, Bam seems like an interesting tournament play tonight.
Yeah, I think it's a good rebounding spot. It's just Bam just doing stuff inside. Just the problem is the game being so slow. But he's my favorite guy in Miami. If you're going to force me to pick somebody, it is interesting. Hero's as cheap as he is. We haven't seen him that cheap before, but this situation obviously not looking. Well, ownership-wise, I assume it's all reflective, right? Yeah, Bam's the only guy getting any ownership. It's 9%. Otherwise, he's getting 1 or 2. And I guess if you want to pinch a Jimmy, by all means, have at it. But, nothing feels great about it.
Someone asked about Dorian Finney-Smith in chat.
You answer that question because I'm just going to say no.
Yeah, he was popping his value earlier today, but do you really want to play a ton of DFS? I know he's going to see 35 minutes, but I don't know. I just don't have a ton of interest in Dorian Finney-Smith on the slate.
If you roster him, what are you hoping for? What's the best case scenario? What's his highest scoring game of the season? I'm curious now. Does he crack over 32? Maybe he has. Maybe 32.25 versus Denver on the 6th in December. And 34 in November. Okay.
30 versus Toronto.
Okay, but that's kind of the point I'm making. It's and what did he have? Did he have a bunch of steals or something? He had 3 steals in his versus Denver in his 32-point game. Yeah, what do you? It's just really he had 3 steals versus the Clippers, and 2 blocks. No, wait, those are steals. I know those are fouls, I believe. It's still the points we made. Like this, what is his ceiling? I guess I would take 32 if you can give me 32, but I'll take the under on 32. In before DFS drops like a 50 burger tonight. Anything else here? It's just kind of a, if you want, you're never upset if you get Luka. Like it's how much is it?
Yeah, you're never upset getting to Luka. Luka's I'd probably be over the field on Luka tonight.
And it's not that hard to do it, right?
No.
I'm hitting the refresh. Ownership is not, we haven't got a new batch of ownership updates, but it's coming soon, I'm sure. Probably within like 10, 15 minutes or so. They're working hard on it. But as of like 2:30, and it might only go up just because now there's more value stuff out there. You can justify paying 12.4. It was 10, 11%. So maybe it gets up to 15% or something like that. Okay. Moving on. Next game. The Clippers and the Spurs. This is a weird one. Clippers and the Spurs. 231 is the total. Clippers are 7-point favorites. You got the Kawhi revenge game. They're expected to be full go as far as the studs, Kawhi and Paul George. The only one being out on the Clippers being Luke Kennard and John Wall. San Antonio, same deal. Just Devin Vassell. Everybody else is healthy. It's weird because you love rostering players against the Spurs, and I don't think Paul George and Kawhi are getting much ownership at all. They are kind of baked up as far as their prices. They're all the way up there. And, of course, the secondary pieces, they thrive in the absence of those two studs. So it's just strange that, like, no ownership versus Spurs.
Yeah, Leonard's overpriced for Paul George being out last few weeks. So that's why he's up at 10-3. Tough to get to him. Paul George at 9-1. I think George is fine in tournaments, but it's still a heightened price tag. This game could blow out as well, right? Zubac, the guy at 5-5, he's the one I have the most interest in on the Clippers. I think he's good for tournaments. There's a lot of opportunity cost at center, but he would be my favorite.
I like that call. San Antonio, really, really vulnerable inside. We saw Claxton get loose on San Antonio in the minutes he was out there. Only played 8 in the first half because of foul trouble, but Claxton I think he put at least 16. He had a double-double, like 16 and 15 or something like that. He crushed him pretty good. I like that call for Zubac. Obviously, he's a little better if you're without one of the studs as far as usage, but, he works inside, and they're really, really vulnerable inside, so I don't mind Zubac at all. What about the Spurs? Fully healthy. Earlier today, I'm sure you probably saw this, I did see Josh Richardson hitting optimals, and I'm like, what? Josh Richardson, get out of town. Who's, like, fine, right? But, they are healthy. Devin Vassell, Richardson, no guarantee even close necessarily. He played 25 minutes or so. Keldon, man, I put Keldon terrible, and I did not martingale it, and he finally smashed. Was it against who was it against? He put up like 40 points.
Yeah, he flop-lagged it. Yeah, he killed it. Yeah. He busted his chalk, and then he went totally nuclear.
Yeah.
Projections love Keldon Johnson night in, night out. At 7,500, I think he's a fine tournament play. I think you can make the case for Trey Jones, but I don't know. They're not guys that I want to get to too much. Jacob Podol, 6'3". Those would be like my favorite. I think Sochan's probably the one game that garnering the most ownership just for his tag. I don't know where we have him currently priced. Where his current ownership is. We have him. Now these guys are like very highly owned outside of like Trey Jones, and I thought Sochan's ownership would have been higher, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff's going to change. Like, we have 14% of Richardson. There's no way it's that high now. Like, that's going to change. And Trey Jones at 13%, there's no way it's that high. I feel really confident in saying that. That's going down.
I wouldn't play more than one Spur on any team.
By the way, don't look, but our projection team is waffling. They just added Jokic back to the pool. So somebody made a caller. I don't know if news broke or whatever, but they're just sort of, I'm sure they're probably debating and trying to see, because it's tricky. And it's a 9 o'clock game, and I guess we won't know. Capella expected to see increased minutes per Coach McMillan. That's interesting. He's really cheap. I assume that means he's going to start too. His price is down pretty good, Capella.
They're going to need him, right? Like I feel like they would need him just with Randall, Hartenstein.
Yeah. Well, it's tricky because I wonder if they close. I think Randall closes the 5. I think that's the most likely
Me
person.
too. That's why I haven't. I think that's
But they're gonna have one of like Okongwu and Capella are gonna split the 48. Like, and it's probably maybe a case by case, like who's playing best, and that's who's gonna close for Atlanta at center. I'm guessing, but I think Capella starts. I don't know. But right now, like in my head, I'd project it like 28 and 20. But I'm curious what the projection team does with that. But maybe he plays 30 or 31 at 5-4. Or maybe he plays 22. He's not playing well. But I assume he's going to play at least 25. I think that's where our projection team had him at. But I would put him higher than that. Interesting. THJ, by the way, was questionable or probable. He's officially in, if you were curious. Anything else as far as Clippers Spurs?
No, I think we got everything there.
All right. If you guys are hanging out in the YouTube, hit that like button. We appreciate it. Keeps the lights on, lets us know we're doing okay here. Smash it, caress it, whatever your adjective of choice happens to be. Just turn that thumb up. 9-game slate. We have 4 more to go. About 5 minutes per. Plenty of time. We got Crunch Time Crew coming in about 20 minutes. Andre, you got Kevin Roth, and you have TJ Zwarych. Indiana, Denver. Well, this is unfortunate. Denver is the next game. 237.5 is a total. Denver is a 10-point favorite here, depending on Jokic's status. He got a midday downgrade. I believe it's what did they give him? A hamstring. Yeah, so he's got a hamstring, and if he doesn't go, that'll shuffle some stuff up as far as Denver. We know Halliburton's out for Indiana. Well, like if Jokic plays, you got to have some Jokic in your pool, right?
I would definitely have some Jokic. Great spot versus Indiana. The hammy, does the hammy worry you at all?
I mean, I think either he's going to play and he plays his normal minutes, or he's not going to play. I don't think they play him like 30. There's no half measures here, right?
Yeah.
He's either going to go or he's not. And like if he goes, I assume he's fine. That's my assumption.
I have the same opinion. If he doesn't go, Jamal Murray becomes a really good play on DraftKings at 6'6". Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., these guys we talked about at the top of the show, they become a little interesting if he sits. Still like Michael Porter Jr. regardless at 5'3", still like Murray regardless at 6'6". Probably would play at most 2 of Murray, Porter, Jokic, and Gordon, or at most 2 of those like 4. Wouldn't be playing 3 Denver guys here, I don't think. Also, if Jokic hits, I think Bones Highland comes into play. Bruce Brown, it's more larger field stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Jokic is just a great play, obviously, if he plays.
Ownership updated. We have 14% on Jokic. That's assuming he plays, obviously. Jamal Murray at 10%. And again, like if Jokic is out, Murray is going to be well over 10%. That price is as is. If you want to just put him as a placeholder, like Murray's fine at 6'6", and you can get like a big boost if Jokic happens to be out. But again, we keep talking about how good the point guard position is. And we have the what if.
What about just playing Jokic in the utility? Then you can swap down to Murray if you leave another spot open.
Well, I mean, obviously you're doing like a 2 or 3 man swap, I suppose. Yeah, I think you can do that. I was thinking like, well, Jokic is 11.6, Sabonis is 10.5, LeBron is 11.3, so you can go from Jokic to LeBron if you want to do that.
Yeah.
LeBron isn't LeBron center? Yeah.
LeBron center eligible, yeah.
Which is, okay. All right. Yeah, I think just trying to think about a plan. I was trying to think of a plan for Sabonis like earlier today, but I guess it's good and bad. And thankfully, I don't have to do that now because he's in. But if he wasn't, I think he would have been pretty well low owned. But yeah, if then stuff. If Jokic sits, Murray becomes an awesome play, and Jordan becomes pretty interesting. Assuming he starts, that's the Andre Jordan. How about the other side of this game, Indiana? Without Halliburton, prices. have mostly adjusted. Mathurin and Nembhard in the mid-tier are getting some run, 19, 14%. TJ McConnell, if you want to chase that. I still don't think they want to play McConnell a ton of minutes alongside Nembhard. So I think his minutes kind of get hurt. But he can also mop up if this game gets ugly. What do you know with the Pacers? I don't think I have a ton.
Yeah, I would like basically for the game to blow out if I'm playing Nembhard and you're getting like him away from McConnell more, like his minutes separated from McConnell's. If the game stays tight, McConnell's probably, if you think the game stays tight, I'd probably prefer McConnell in terms of this McConnell-Nembhard debate. Outside of that, like I don't think there's much interest for me on this team. Maybe Miles Turner at 7-1, but center is very strong position today.
Probably a better play if Jokic is out. Just worth saying. Yeah,
probably a better play if Jokic is out too. I for me it would be between McConnell and Nembhard, and I think I'd lean Nembhard because I know Denver doesn't blow teams out, but I don't know. I feel like Nembhard is the way to go in my opinion. Maybe I should be for that. Maybe I feel like maybe I should be on I'll take the McConnell side. No, I'm not taking the Nembhard side.
I was thinking position wise,
but I think that the game stays close.
I was thinking position wise, but that Mathurin might be more useful just because he has that small forward eligibility, and Nembhard, TJ, those guys are point guard, shooting guard.
We have Mathurin for 20%. Is that? Do you think that's correct?
I have
to refresh. No, I have to refresh.
That's where we have him at. That's, to me, that seems a little high personally, but I guess I kind of sort of get it. And I think that one of the reasons is because he's got that multi-position eligibility, and small forward can be useful as well. So
I haven't really seen him hit anything all day.
Yeah, he's fine. Is 5.5 is the price, 30 is the fantasy point projection. That's a median projection.
I'd much rather play LeVert at 5.4.
Yes, I agree with that. And is LeVert small forward or just shooting guard? Does he have the small forward spot?
He's small. He's shooting guard and small forward.
Okay, yeah. I mean, ownership's going to reflect that for sure. Okay, let's talk about Brooklyn and Utah. 231.5 is the total. There was some speculation or some thought that Brooklyn might rest guys, like pull a Golden State Warrior move on the back half of a back-to-back. They're traveling. One of the hardest places to play in the back half of back-to-back historically is in Utah with their elevation. But it appears that they're not doing that. Brooklyn apparently is going to be running their guys, and that's that. As far as who they're missing tonight, just Kevin Durant. Utah missing Kelly Olynyk. That's it. For that reason, I don't have a lot on the Brooklyn side. Kyrie, if you want to run some Kyrie, of course, sure. It's still his show. If this game is close, if it's competitive, we saw he robo-doped us yesterday. He was terrible for the first 3 quarters, and he put 20, 22 actual points in the bucket in the fourth. He was amazing, and he closed really, really strong. And theoretically, he can do that again tonight. It's just there's so many good point guards. I'm having a hard time prioritizing him. Your thoughts on Kyrie and just Brooklyn in general?
Kyrie is going to be low owned, it looks like, correct? Like I feel yeah. I don't mind getting to some low owned Kyrie. Never a bad move, in my opinion. I don't mind Kyrie. I think Claxton, just bigs versus have kind of beat Utah. And in the same way on the other side, like Utah bigs versus the Nets. It's a good spot for both. We're not showing any ownership to Claxton for what it's worth. Outside of that, the rest of these Nets I have zero interest in. Like Ben Simmons, his minutes are just, if he's been in foul trouble, like just looking back at the game logs, like almost every game he's played. So
he got ejected yesterday. If you were looking at his minutes yesterday, I know he had 4 in the third, I believe.
Yeah, he's up to 7K from. Yeah, I don't want really any Ben Simmons. Yeah, for me, it's just Kyrie on the Brooklyn side. Anything for you on the Brooklyn side?
I think it's Kyrie, and that's it. And I don't know how much I'm getting. I don't make a lot of lineups. If I land on Kyrie, I'm not upset about it. But I think I'm first looking for, like, let's run SGA and Fox at each other. Let's run like Ja versus LeBron. Like that's where I'm first looking. You know what I mean? So I don't think I'm going to do that. But again, in no way am I saying it's a bad idea. It's perfect, especially we're 3% ownership. Opponents' points in the paint. I wanted to check and see if that was still the same thing with Utah. They've gotten a little bit better because I know Kessler's been playing more. They still give up the fourth most points in the paint, and Claxton scores, I think, 90% of his points in the paint. You mentioned Claxton. So, he's all the way up as far as the price. He can get in foul trouble on occasion as well, but he's interesting for tournaments. How about the Utah side? Kessler on DK is still playable. On Fanduel, really, really hard to justify. I think he's like full 2K more expensive over there. 5.7 on DK. I think, 7.9 on Fanduel. That's just really, really hard to pay off. But I think Kessler is my most interesting piece on this side. Beasley getting 9% is a little sketch for me. I don't think I'm in on that. And I'm always sort of like biased against the guys that have to score.
Clarkson.
Yeah. Clarkson, yeah. Go ahead. Utah, what do you got?
I think Kessler is probably my favorite play as well. Markkanen, no one's paying up for Markkanen's just having a phenomenal year. 9.5 is going to be a tough tag. It'd be very difficult to get to him on the slate. Mike Conley at 5.4. I hate playing Conley. Beasley at 5K. I think I don't know why he's getting the 10% ownership that he's getting. Just probably a pricing thing. And like you said, shooting guard, small forward. My favorite play I think would be Kessler. There's not a ton I love in this game. It'd probably be Kessler and Irving for me.
Yeah, Kessler starting, Vanderbilt back up. We're also Beasley has taken over the starting role. We're expecting him to start. Olynyk, of course, out right now. And yeah, he's going to be. I think he's going to be an all-star this year, which is amazing. Good for him. And again, that trade looks so good. We're beating up Minnesota all the time, but that trade looks spectacular. I wonder if they'll trade Markkanen. I don't know if he's a guy you want to build around, right? And they're sort of in the middle. Wouldn't be a bad idea to trade Markkanen if you get something for him. Royce O'Neal revenge. What does he do in a revenge game? Takes one extra 3, maybe. I don't know, man.
Royce defense versus archetype loves Royce O'Neal.
Does it?
Third best matchup versus Malik Beasley.
Interesting. You're hoping for stocks and threes. Like he's going to get some boards as well too, but it's tough. It's tough. And we've seen him at 4.5 and 4.6. He's 5.7 right now. I don't know, man. I don't think I'm getting the Royce O'Neal. I assume he left on good terms.
Me neither. I'm not playing any Royce O'Neal. I was just pointing it out.
They got a video for him, right? There's a video package waiting for him. And is this his first game back? It probably isn't. Is it? I'm not sure. Maybe it is. There's got to be a video package, right? The Jazz are putting on the big screen for him. And what hell going?
It seems pissed about us just skipping over these revenge narratives. Why?
I just want to know what the video package looks like. Tough job, whoever had to put that together. The Royce O'Neal video package for Utah. Welcome back. Okay, we got 2 games left. It's Memphis. It's the Lakers. 243.5. That is the total. That's a monster total. The double hammer games at 10 o'clock both have huge totals. OKC, Sacramento, 243. 243.5 for Memphis and the Lakers. I believe this is the ESPN game. LeBron officially questionable. I assume he plays. I hope he plays. Austin Reeves out. Walker out. Davis, I think, is coming back soon, but Anthony Davis is still out. Memphis is fully healthy. 2 of the fastest teams in basketball. If you look at pace, I believe it's 2 and 5 or 3 and 6. They both play really, really fast. Trouble with the Lakers facing Memphis is Memphis is really good defensively. I believe they've taken over the number 1 spot for defensive rating. If not 1, they're on the podium. Start with the Lakers first, and I guess that's LeBron.
LeBron only. Yeah. I'm not playing Westbrook. Earlier in the day, you could have made a case for Schroeder just because there was no value. But now it's just LeBron with this Warriors news and the other stuff that's opened up.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, and I think that's where projections are at. I don't want to say there's no chance, non-zero. There's LeBron's playing this game, right? He's got to be playing this game. We would know by now.
If he doesn't play, it opens up Schroeder, Westbrook, Thomas Bryant, I guess.
He's been falling back.
He's been falling back. Wayne Gabriel's up at 4.6 now. It's not like he's 3K anymore. I don't know. It'd be Westbrook, Schroeder, one of these. I don't. Is Kendrick Nunn get minutes if LeBron's out?
Not enough for me to care.
Yeah,
that's sort of wrong. The other side, Memphis, they don't push their stars as much as other teams push their stars. Like Ja is a star, but you're starting off the game with like 33, 34 minutes, hopefully. And then also they tend to blow teams out a lot. That's why he doesn't have a lot of eye-popping games, right? Like he's not going to play 39 minutes, almost definitely. You don't get it very often. But we'll project 33 minutes, Ja is going to smash versus the Lakers. Bad defense and fast pace. Desmond Bane seems a little bit too cheap at 7K. Adams feels like a game where we can put up 12 and 15 against this Laker inside, which we saw Şengün maul them. We saw, I think it was Sabonis destroyed them. Different skill sets to some degree, but I just think that the problem is that Adams, what is his ceiling? I guess if he gets right, on the right side of stocks, he can get 15 boards though. And Triple J is another guy who's, man, they just don't give him enough minutes. We're giving him 28 minutes because, maybe when playoffs come around, he might get 32, 33, but he's just not getting much beyond 28. But he's interesting, I guess. Memphis, what are you doing with the Grizz?
Yeah, so Morant's fine in tournaments. I think Bane is their minutes are being staggered. I don't mind getting to some Bane. He'd probably be my favorite Grizzly, followed by Steven Adams. I think Steven Adams could eat this Lakers front court. We've seen him have some big games in the last couple of weeks. Don't mind Steven Adams. Triple J, we know what his ceiling is. It's a very high ceiling for Triple J. Dylan Brooks, I just don't want to play Dylan Brooks ever.
No.
So not playing him, but yeah, I think the main guys, Morant, Bane, Adams, and Jackson, I would have the most interest in on the Memphis side.
We got 22% ownership on Ja, DK, Bane at 18%, and beyond that, nobody's getting any ownership. 1% on Adams is pretty interesting, but I don't mind that. If I land on it, so be it. If I'm making a little bit of a game stack, I'm for sure going to make one lineup with Ja and LeBron, and maybe I'm okay. Then I'm more open to throwing out one more piece on the Memphis side. Otherwise, the Lakers, for me, it's LeBron, and that's it. I don't think I'm playing Schroeder, however you want it. The chat's talking about how you pronounce his name. There's an umlaut in there somewhere. It's not something I'm getting to, and I'm not paying 8.8 for Westbrook. Get out of town. I'm not doing that. Won't happen.
I didn't realize that was his price, but yeah, don't pay that.
Yeah, I mean, if LeBron doesn't go, well, I guess sure, because somebody has to.
He still won't get there.
We got anything else here? Or are we moving on?
No, we can move on to your game.
Man, I love this one too. OKC and Sacramento.
I'm starting to just love Sacramento in general for DFS.
Yeah, I think they're a fun team now. And again, I still think it was silly that they traded away Halliburton, and they actually have they've done a good job the mimic of the beam. I don't know if you know about lighting the beam. The crowd's chanting "light the beam." They have this. Whenever they win, they light this giant purple beam in the sky above the stadium. Are you aware of this thing or no?
No, I didn't. I wasn't aware.
And it's a brand new arena. It's supposedly beautiful in Sacramento. I've never been, but they're doing a decent job turning a franchise around. It's where they were, and
they traded Halliburton, so I wouldn't give them too much credit.
Yeah, you're right. It's. I still disagree with that move, but yeah, Sabonis has done well, I guess, as well as you can expect from him, but he's also 5 years older than Halliburton. I think he is.
Yeah,
playing against his old team in OKC. Remember many years ago, wasn't Sabonis traded for Paul George? When Sabonis was not much of a player at the time.
I don't remember.
SGA was. I think SGA was in that trade too, wasn't it? Sabonis and SGA. What was that trade? Sabonis and SGA for like Paul George, or
I thought Shea was on the Clippers. Oh yeah. So maybe
he was a part of that. Yeah, maybe. What was that official? I think he was a part of that deal, and he went. He was on the Clippers and went to OKC.
Yeah.
I don't remember it now. Somebody's got to pull this up. This is important stuff. Pacers got Sabonis and Oladipo. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Am I combining two deals? I might be combining two separate trades.
I do not know. We're gonna have to ask the chat on this one.
This is important stuff. Or we could just talk about Sacramento and OKC. Let's do that. Fabulous game environment. Ownership wise, Fox is getting 17%. Dort, we saw a big game out of the Dortcher Chamber a couple days ago. 16% still pretty cheap. Giddey always doing his thing, always a threat to get a cheap triple double, or he's just always hovering around 7, 8, 12 kind of game. SGA looks spectacular, and man, Sabonis is just going to do whatever he wants against this OKC front court. They're the worst defensive rebounding team in the league. I see a couple of putbacks in his future. Those are always beautiful. I love Sabonis in this game. I assume he's fine. He practiced, didn't feel well a couple days ago, but I assume he's good to go. What is your assessment of OKC and Sacramento as a game stack, and who are your favorite players?
Yeah, Sabonis and Fox playing really well together. Don't mind getting to either of them. Kevin Huerter, another guy on the wing, I think I have interest in. On this Sacramento side, I think you can always make the case for Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray. They're guys that, like in large field, I definitely have some allocation to. I think Monk is being like his minutes were. He was chalked the other night, and then his minutes were like totally cut. I had too much. I wish I didn't have as much. On the other side of that, for me, that's pretty much the majority of it. I don't know if the other stuff would have been if Sabonis was out, then you see Trey Lyles, Rashawn Holmes come more into play. But really it's just the four guys that I talked about off the top on the Sacramento side, but I do like them a lot.
Yeah, love this game stack. Again, I'm going to have one for sure with LeBron and Ja. I'm going to have one for sure with Shea and Sabonis, or Shea and Fox, or if I can play all three of those. I'm not sure if I can do that with the value that is out there. I want to see what we did with New Orleans. The crunch time crew should be coming in a few minutes here. You got, I believe it's TJ Zwarych, as well as Andre, and of course Roth will be holding down the ship, asking those questions, getting those questions from the premium chat. If you are premium members, you're not aware of this, go to the RotoGrinders.com premium Discord. That's where you can fire off your questions, and Roth will prioritize them if he has time. If time allots, he'll knock them out from YouTube as well. Mr. Richard, yeah, you can play Sabonis and Giddey as well. I did not mean to neglect Giddey, but
yeah, not to neglect Giddey. Giddey, Shea, and Dort would probably be the three that I'd have the most interest in on the other side. They're super condensed,
which is not something we've said about OKC all season long, but it's still changing this. Even Jalen Williams, we're projecting 32 minutes for. I think he's playable as well.
He is playing. He is small forward. What's he? Small forward and point. What is his point guard? Small
forward, point guard, which is weird. Yeah. That's his eligibility on DK. It's kind of funky.
I don't mind Jalen Williams at all. He had a phenomenal game the other night. Shea is just. What do we have ownership for Shea? Shea's got to be.
I don't think it's that high.
It's not high, right? Yeah.
12%. Yeah, 12% for Shea.
Shea's a very interesting run bending.
Oh man, yeah. And then Sabonis, Fox is 17. I think Sabonis is low. Yeah, Sabonis at 7. Come on. I'm getting over that. 7%.
I feel like that's going to change a little bit. So now there's more confirmation.
If it's 12, even still.
I'm still playing, yeah. But
I want to see what we did with New Orleans. If we have Jones in, did anybody get interesting? Murphy has got a pretty good projection at 4.8. So looks like we're giving Dyson Daniels a start. I think that's what we're doing. 28 minutes, 20 fantasy points. We probably got a bump up on Alvarado, a little bit of a bump, but
I wouldn't want to get yourself locked into Dyson Daniels, right?
I don't think I want to. No. Yeah,
Valanciunas seems like the guy that's going to pop the most.
Yeah, I mean, he's been getting more minutes of late. We're projecting 8 and 20 to Nance, and he's been in the positive side of that, and he's been playing really well. We are giving 20 minutes to your boy Jackson Hayes for what it's worth. I don't know if that's a hedge. We're waiting to see who starts there, but that's kind of interesting. If there's any questions in chat, we can knock out a couple as we get the Crunch Time crew coming in. Trying to see if there's anything new on the old Twitter. Nothing really. Kuminga and JaMychal Green both remain probable as suspected. But, yeah, let's see. Jackson Hayes will be the Naz Reid tonight. I think Naz Reid salvaged last night. By the way, you're not going to believe this. Naz Reid only had 3 fouls the entire game. He might have had 4. But, he played 4 minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. Coaches are so scared. They're such wimps when it comes to foul trouble. You're fouling the guy out anyway if you're not playing him. You're basically fouling him out. I don't know. I don't know if you played last night or if you had.
We had a date night, so
there you go.
I knew I played like one team and I didn't play Reed.
Did you look at your phone at all during date night or no?
I get yelled at a little bit. For the phone.
You have like one. You can sneak off to the bathroom once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
There you go. Cavs are starting Garland, LeVert, Okoro, Mobley, and Allen. Do you have a preference amongst Allen or Mobley?
I think Mobley. He'd probably be my favorite. Garland's going to be the guy that's going to hit every optimal.
Is that what we're looking at?
That's what I'm saying.
It makes sense, but like at the same time, there's so many good options. I don't think I don't think I'm going to be over the field.
LeVert is the play that he's going to be the highest owned play on the slate.
That's the most popular game, right? Like Golden State's got the cheapies.
Yeah.
Let's see if we have an ownership thing here. We got 31%, 32% on LeVert, 26% on Garland. Yeah. I think LeVert's going to be, I think that might even be a little bit low because of his versatility, not just shooting guard, but small forward.
Yeah.
Really, really helpful. He's going to be, but I think that's pretty good chalk too.
Me too.
Izzy wants to know the top 3 Warriors by value. What do you have as far as your 3 favorite Warriors specific to value? So I guess that means not pool.
Yeah, so I think Jerome, DiVincenzo, and Lamb.
What if Jerome's not starting? Is he still your favorites?
I think DiVincenzo would be my favorite in that case.
So I'm running some optimals. 61% LeVert, that's the biggest number to hit. And Garland hitting 44%. DiVincenzo 35, Lamb 33. That game's going to be, and Poole at 18, JaMychal Green at 17. Can you rank Garland, Poole, and Murray?
I assume think Garland, Poole, Murray. I think that exact order.
But if Jokic is out, I think Jamal's number 1 when you consider dollar for dollar, right?
Because he's 6'6", yeah. I would say the same. Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'm hearing some rumblings in the background. That means we got
dollar for dollar. Who's got the best outfit on? Dean's got the beautiful bright blue. Roth has that just incredibly comfy looking sweater. Dre's looking great with the double Adidas all black. Like, Bobby, you and I are slacking a little bit.
We're slacking a bit, yeah, but we'll pick it. We'll get it next show,
Yeah. We weren't prepped. We didn't know everyone was gonna be looking so good.
The people just want the winners. You look as good as anybody if you give them the winners. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters for sure. Who are the winners? You guys have the winners? TJ?
Oh yeah, I got the winners locked and loaded. Just waiting for you guys to head out so we can give away the winners. Can't have them when you're on the show. Can't be given away to too many people. You know how it is.
Fair enough. We probably didn't get enough likes. I shouldn't even ask. You're going to reprimand me if I didn't get enough likes for the people, and that's not my fault. They're not.
We get 100 likes once this year. You better rap, dude.
Look, Dean, I've been.
You gonna rap or you gonna do the what's that dance they do in the NFL?
The gritty.
The gritty. Yeah.
The giddy. Oh my God, shoot me.
Gritty, whatever.
Oh, did I say it wrong? Gritty's the mascot for the Philadelphia Flyers, I believe.
330 people watching, Dean, and barely 50 likes. And so I can't even reprimand you though, because I'm sitting here always getting mad at you and I never end up on Grinders Live with you anymore. So I think you must just hate me. And so maybe I got to take it easy on you.
I thought it was like I wasn't really sure what happened. I thought we had an issue that you might have reported something on me that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, I reached out to HR and then I was hoping they would just speak to you, but next thing I knew, I was off the show.
Yeah, well, I wield a lot of power around here. All right. On that note, Bobby, anything else before we step aside and get out of here?
No, good luck, guys. Have a good night tonight.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody.
Andre, have a good show. TJ, have a good show. TJ, get those likes up. It's not on me. It's on the people. Yell at them.
Word, no, honestly, we should get these likes up because I was trying to give y'all $1 million parlay. Y'all not even with it.
100 likes for Dre's $1 million parlay.
Oh, I don't got one tonight.
Oh, 100 likes for Dre's $1 million parlay tomorrow. Appreciate it.
I can give you a football one.
Okay, hey, welcome to it. It is indeed crunch time. Excellent stuff by the crew leading us up until lock. We are going to lead you up until lock. Got two of the sharpest minds in the biz. One, Mr. TJ Zwarych. Did I nail it?
Close. The Zwa was perfect, but it's Zwarych. We're getting rich tonight, Roth. That's how we remember.
Zwarych.
Zwarych.
I don't know what is wrong with me mentally that I can't figure that out. How you doing, TJ?
Doing very well. We got a fun NBA slate, playoff football coming this weekend, and life's good. I got nothing to complain about. Life's good. How about you, Roth?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. I'm not going to complain about the multitude of minor things I have to complain about. So life is good. I'm with you there. We got Dre as well. He's never complaining. He's just handing out bangers, hot fire winners time after time. Dre, what's happening?
Not much hanging in there. Just trying to, get these picks in. Going to do my lineups after lock because I'm taking some strong takes on positions on some games here.
Okay. I'm getting the feeling that means he will not be playing anyone in the first game or the games that lock right off the bat. Hey, this is a FanDuel sponsored show. That's the reason why it's free. That's the reason why we say, hey, get those likes up. If you like this show, you're more likely to get it free for longer. So make sure you're liking this show. Shout out to our sponsor, FanDuel. Sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook if you're in a legal sports betting state. Take advantage of their awesome bonus offer. New customers get $5 on any market. Get $150 in bonus bets. Unless you're in Ohio, then you get $200 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions apply. Make sure you're checking that out. TJ, who's the cash dog? Is it going to be Dre or TJ today?
That's going to be me.
Okay, TJ, you're my cash guy. All right, well then, why don't you start us off with kind of an overview of the slate? I think it's just like jamming the Golden State guys, then figure it out.
Yeah, the Golden State Cleveland game is definitely going to be the one we're targeting because not only are we jamming in all the Golden State guys because their entire team is out, but Donovan Mitchell is also out for Cleveland here. And so Darius Garland, Karis LeVert, both looking like phenomenal plays as well. So that's definitely going to be the main one we are targeting. But then we also are still waiting on things like Nikola Jokic questionable, LeBron James questionable. If I were to guess, I would say Jokic doesn't play and LeBron does play, but we're still waiting on that one. I always kind of JaMychal Green available to play and Jonathan Kuminga available to play. Okay, we expected that. And so we are still waiting on those two pieces of news. For cash, I don't think it's going to have too much implication. We're not playing either of these guys with those Q tags. And so, let's get into it. Meansy score plays today does have LeVert and LeBron. And so, sorry, I should have specified a little bit. We're not going to play Jokic because he was downgraded to questionable, whereas LeBron's just kind of had this Q tag for a while and expected him to play. So LeBron's got that core play tag. So we're going to trust Meansy on that one. And let's start with the guard position. Darius Garland, to me, is going to be an absolute must play without Donovan Mitchell. Let's get both of those backcourt guys in there, LeVert and Garland. It gives us an incredibly high floor and a good ceiling combo as well. And for this next spot at point guard, I think you're looking at either De'Aaron Fox, John Morant, or my personal favorites, Kyrie Irving. You can play him here either at the point guard position or the shooting guard position, but this is likely one that you're going to spend up. If you're not spending up, it's probably for somebody like a Dennis Schroeder, maybe Josh Giddey. But you're going SGA, De'Aaron Fox, John Morant, Kyrie Irving, and my favorite of the crew is going to be Kyrie Irving. Second would probably be SGA. Third would be De'Aaron Fox. I just don't think we have the value to go Luka today. We got value, but it's not so wildly cheap that he's easy to fit in. And so I think that's just going to be a tournament only type of thing. When we get over to the shooting guard position, it becomes we have even more options because not only do we still have Garland, Kyrie, and SGA who we can play here, but we also have Karis LeVert and Dante DiVincenzo. This might lead us to want to play these two guys at the small forward position because they do look super appealing wherever you want to play them, but that small forward isn't quite as deep as the guard position. Here we have these two that I want to prioritize, DiVincenzo and LeVert, but we also got LeBron James here. Anthony Lamb at 4,700 I think is a reasonable to play at this position. We probably just want to roll with LeBron at the power forward so that we can play three of LeVert, DiVincenzo, Lamb, because to me, these are going to be priorities. If you happen to get Kuminga starting and Lamb not starting, then you can prioritize Kuminga instead. But if both of them in the starting lineup, I think I would go with Anthony Lamb. Popping over the power forward position, that's where we can play LeBron James here. You got Domantas Sabonis, who is one of my favorite plays on the slate, only coming in at 15%. Maybe that's just a tournament play, but I'm perfectly fine getting him in tournaments or cash today. If you want to save salary with JaMychal Green at 3,600, I think it's fine. If Isaiah Hartenstein starts, I think he's cash viable. If he does not start, I think Jericho Sims is going to be cash viable at center if he starts for him. But just whichever New York big is going to be in the starting lineup, I think that's who we want to prioritize in cash. If you land on Evan Mobley, I think that's fine. I would prioritize him over Wendell Carter Jr. I don't really want to play too many people in that first game just because we're still waiting on starting lineups at these 7:30 games and we're still waiting for news later on. So I would rather just not have those positions locked down. But those are two guys that are totally all right in cash games. And then at the center position, Sabonis, Mobley, two guys that are fine. Hartenstein, if he starts, he's fine. You land on Jared Allen or somebody like that, I think that's okay too. And then if Jericho Sims happens to pop into the starting lineup here, he could be cash viable as well.
Okay, very good. I like it, TJ. Dre, let's talk some tournaments. You can either run it position by position, or you can give me kind of your overall thoughts first.
Well, overall thoughts. I know there's a lot of games with some games with a lot higher totals than others. I'm going to be targeting a lot of those, and targeting a lot of these guys that have some great mismatches. I'm going to probably go all over the place. This guys that are on my head like right now.
Yeah.
I know Sabonis is. I love Sabonis. He's like TJ said before, he's like my top GPP play of the day at 18% on FanDuel. I think you should definitely try to roster a lot of him in your lineups. I also don't mind taking some shots on Bam Adebayo today. He should be able to get a 20-10 game here against Dallas. I think that he's in a fantastic spot. Evan Mobley is someone I think is great too as well that we can look at 7K here. So I'm just giving you a couple center options besides these low-owned centers that I know people are going to try to go with, which is fine. But Evan Mobley, I think, is a good option too today. Kevin Love, if you want to use him in tournaments at the power forward position, I think he is okay as a deep tournament play against his front line for Golden State that is going to be very small. He should be able to have his way and be able to hopefully get an easy double-double here in this spot. Tournaments, I kind of still like Walker Kessler. I know his price is coming up, but I still think he's a good play today a little bit. That's just me. I think also LeBron is a fantastic play. If you are playing LeBron, make sure you're running back with somebody from the other side. Definitely would be higher on guys like John Morant. I think that he's a fantastic run back to a guy like LeBron James. I don't even mind a little bit of Jaren Jackson here as well. It's kind of, I know the front court of the Lakers is not all that big, so I think it's someone that he can. I think that it's something that he can definitely take advantage of. And they do turn over the ball a lot, so that pace could definitely be. The blocks, the steals can definitely be there for sure. I love Dante DiVincenzo today in this spot. I think he's at his price, he's a great value. Julius Randle is also not going to get no ownership. I think he's also fantastic, so that we can look at as well. And then, sorry, I think there's so many point guards. Let me just go to point guard real quick. I like
one big that you didn't mention that I really like in tournaments as well that I want to give a quick shout on before we switch back to guard is Lauri Markkanen. I think he's a very interesting play against Brooklyn today.
Oh yeah, but his price is what is his price on FanDuel?
It's fine on FanDuel. Brooklyn on DraftKings it's restrictive, but on FanDuel he is
he's
8,700.
He's in play, yeah, because he's showed that he has 60-point upside, so he is definitely in play. Point guard is like it's really gives you a headache because of how many guards you can play. The way I like to do it with these top tier guys is, like I said, if I'm playing a guy like Luka, I'm running it back with like Bam. Playing Shai, I'm running it back with Sabonis. Playing Ja, I'm running it back with LeBron. Trae Young, same thing, running back with like Randall. Kyrie Irving, I don't know how much Kyrie I'm going to have tonight. I know he had a big game last night, but I think he is also very interested for tournaments. No one's going to play CJ McCollum at 8-9, and he I think is an excellent tournament play as well. And why is no one playing DeJounte Murray? I know his price is 8-6, but I remember it was a couple weeks ago, they was in the same scenario where he was playing. I think Trae Young was still playing that game, and everyone was on DeJounte Murray, but he just got hurt in the first couple minutes of that game. So I think DeJounte Murray is an excellent tournament play. Even at 8-6, we can see him easily have a triple-double here in the spot. Darius Garland is someone I think you should definitely try to target as well. De'Aaron Fox, I like him. Jamal Murray, I think, is good with or without Jokic in. Definitely without Jokic, but with Jokic in, he's going to be solo owned. I think you can still play him at 7-4, and he's a great value today as well. And yeah, I think I'm going to switch over to – I think that's it. I'm not going to give out no more guard plays, but I think I gave a hefty amount of good plays here today.
No, I think that's
starting lineup for New Orleans just came in. McCollum, Daniels, Herbert Jones, Murphy at the 4, Valanciunas at the 5. Trae Young is available to play. Before we swap to DK, just want to say I absolutely love the Jamal Murray call. Another person you can play in that Cleveland and Golden State game in cash and in tournaments today is a $7,600 Jordan Poole, who I forgot to mention.
I also like Michael Porter Jr.
Okay. All right. Add him to the list. All right. Let's kick things over to DK. And TJ, give us a little rundown there. There's a lot of 3K dudes that I feel like are viable at least here.
Yeah, there are.
Maybe I'm an idiot, but
there are. I mean, I don't know about a lot, but there definitely are some. So we're plugging in Meansy score plays here. We got Karis LeVert, we got RJ Barrett, who's underpriced over here, and we got Darius Garland. I added Garland to the FanDuel pool as well. And so we have two of the same ones over there that we did have on DraftKings as well. Dre, if you happen to see a New York starting lineup or anything like that, feel free to just interrupt me. But this is what we got right here. We got two Cleveland players. We got New York. It covers the first three positions. But elsewhere, we have a $9,600 John Morant. That's too cheap. Absolutely cash viable. SGA 9,700, too cheap as well. Absolutely cash viable, as are De'Aaron Fox and Jordan Poole. Josh Giddey is fine if you land there, but one of my favorites is going to be Jamal Murray at 6,600. I'll just kind of give my tournament takes before we pass it up. This range of Murray at 6,600, Kyrie Irving at 9,900, like just because he's $700 more on DraftKings, nobody's playing him. I think that's a phenomenal tournament play. And so Jamal Murray is one of my favorite people to kind of get as a last piece in cash, but I do love him in tournaments as well.
On Poole, is Poole the only guy starting for Golden State that we would consider, to be one of their main guys?
I like DiVincenzo a lot. I think he's going to get a lot of run here. I think
DiVincenzo is going to be a priority for me. He is point guard and small forward eligible. And so I like him more at small forward than I do at point guard.
I low-key kind of want to play more like I would love to play Kuminga. I just don't know how many minutes. That's the only thing I would say about also with the Warriors. Kuminga is someone I really, really, really want to get a lot of. I just don't know how many minutes he's going to play. So it kind of makes me a little bit hesitant on it, but I might just take the chance.
It's one of the reasons I'm not playing anybody at this 7:00 game is because I do really just want to make sure I have this starting lineup for both Golden State and the New York Knicks are the two teams that I'm really waiting for, because that's going to have a big impact on how I want to work my lineups here. At the small forward position, you can play LeVert here. DiVincenzo, I forgot about him at the point guard position just because I had him locked in at small forward in my personal lineup here, but DiVincenzo is a phenomenal play at the small forward position. I actually prefer him to RJ Barrett, but you can absolutely get both of them in your lineups here. And so DiVincenzo and Barrett and LeVert are your top three here. And then after that, you're looking to play a Golden State player. If Kuminga happens to be in the starting lineup, maybe you're going to be getting him over at power forward. But right now we're still waiting. We're projecting both Kuminga and Lamb, and I think Lamb is a guy that you can absolutely get in your starting lineup, whether or in your cash game, whether it be at small forward or power forward today. Popping it over to power forward, we got LeBron James as by far the best RotoGrinders value on the slate. So as long as he's in, he's a great cash game play. Great tournament play as well. Evan Mobley at 6,400, gotten absolutely no problem with that, rolling him there. Anthony Lamb is a strong play as well, and I do absolutely love Julius Randle for tournaments today. If Jericho Sims is in the starting lineup, he is a very strong play at the power forward position. If he is not in the starting lineup and it's Isaiah Hartenstein, then Hartenstein at 3K at center is probably going to be the person that I'm going to be wanting to play here. But I also want to get to Sabonis in tournaments at 5K. That is just my favorite tournament play on the entire slate. And so in cash, guys like Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and whichever one starts between Isaiah Hartenstein and Jericho Sims, all cash viable. You land on Walker Kessler, who's still priced down on DraftKings. I think that's okay as well. But that's mostly where I'm going to be looking at it here. I think I'm probably going to be using my utility position for a center today.
Okay. Very good. I like it. Dre, you want to give us some plays on DK?
Okay, yeah. On DK, pretty much almost like the same thing. I kind of don't like to separate it like that by that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like I do like on this side a little bit more getting to a guy like Jordan Clarkson against Indiana. Against Brooklyn. Sorry. I think Jordan Clarkson is in a good spot here. I'd like also Josh Giddey just because the triple-double bonus and the double-double bonus on this site. So he's someone else I think you could definitely look at for tournaments. And I think it's a good play, especially to mix up in your lines, because I know he's coming in a little bit like at 15%. I really don't know if he's going to be that high on with all the other value here at the shooting guard and point guard position. So I like him
also
a lot.
Cheaper on DraftKings as well.
Yeah. Also, I know some of the guys before deadline like Dennis Schroeder. I'm still gonna ride with Dennis. I think he's a good tournament play here. I think you can roster him. Jalen Smith as well, but I would probably move him over to the small forward position as a play, just because the point guard position is so crowded here. I think he has a path to be good. Mike Conley has a little bit of a good value play, and tournament play is also not bad. LeVert is going against Golden State. I think you have to play him. I was not going to play him. Let me eliminate this guy from my player pool. Sorry. And then Desmond Bane. I like Desmond Bane a lot. Lakers. Their defense obviously has improved, but they still, I think, are not that great. And I think a lot of attention is going to be on a guy like John Morant. So since it's going to be on John Morant, I think that we have a chance for Desmond Bane to get some open threes here in this position. So I like him a lot. And DeJounte Murray, he is so much cheaper on what is he? He's 7-8 on FanDuel. I mean on DK. On FanDuel, I think he's like 8-6. 7-8, you have to play this guy. Like he should be way on. So like that's the guy I want to get extremely over the field on here in this spot. I like him a lot today. I think Kevin Huerter is also in a good position today. I mentioned Shai already. pretty much everyone else that I mentioned before is pretty much going to be the same. I don't think you should play Dorian Finney-Smith at all today as well. I like Anthony. Just letting you guys know, don't play him at all. He's not.
Don't play any Mavs not named Luka today, Roth.
Well, I mean, they're down Christian Wood, right? He's out officially.
I don't even like Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, you take the over on his threes and that's a prop because Miami is horrible against the 3-point line. But other than that, I am not playing nobody on that team. I like Dort in tournaments as well. I also low-key kind of like Bruce Brown here in this spot because he can do a little bit of everything, and he's just a pivot off of a guy like Anthony Lamb, who's going to be a little bit popular. And he also is cheaper than Karis LeVert, who is going to be popular. So I don't mind that at all in tournaments. I'm not going to play Tim Hardaway. We're not going to play Tim Hardaway, even though he does have some good games against Miami. But yeah, Evan Mobley's even cheaper on this site too, so I will go there. Aaron Gordon, I don't mind a little bit too because of the front court. And Kevin Love again, he is cheaper on this site. He is 3.8. I love Kevin Love today as a GPP play, even for his 20 minutes. Like I said, he's going to smash this front court of the Golden State Warriors. So take him if you can. I'm getting well over the field on him. I like him a lot today. As he's like one of my favorite tournament plays, if not the favorite. I don't even mind also a guy like Brandon Clark as well.
Okay.
Couple of things I want to touch on super quick. Two situations. Indiana on FanDuel. These guards have been priced up, Nembhard and McConnell, but they're not on DraftKings. They're both good prices, and they are both good plays. Nembhard has the shooting guard eligibility, so it's a little bit easier to get to him, but you can absolutely get to both of these guys. Even Mathurin or Miles Turner, I think, are going to be fine in tournaments. And then on the opposite side of this game, we talked about Jamal Murray quite a bit. I like the Bruce Brown call, especially if Nikola Jokic is out. I think that's a nice play on DraftKings. But we got Jokic questionable. We have Jeff Green questionable. We have Vlatko Kankar questionable. Zeke Naji at 3,200 could end up being one of the better center plays on the slate, and probably not very many people are going to be getting to him.
Okay, very good. I was about to give you guys the smash lock bet of the century, and then I looked up the actual line, and I kind of agree with it. Here's what I've noticed watching the Mavs. This is just a quick tangent, then we'll get into QQs. Luka is actually okay with Christian Wood stealing some of those like team rebounds that usually Luka just gets. So Christian Wood's been taking those. With him out, he's going to get a shitload more boards because like nobody else has the balls to take a rebound away from Luka Doncic. Like
so
you just don't do that.
So you like the over on his rebounds? I like
the over on his rebounds, and then I looked at the total, and it's 10.5. 10.5.
I like the
a
under.
lot. Yeah, like I figured that I thought the line would be at like maybe 9, and I take the over. 10.5's a lot, so I don't know. I think he's going to go over, but I didn't expect it to be that high either. So it is no longer the lock of the day. I've given you something, and then I take it away. I don't know. It's a higher line than I thought it was going to be, but I agree with it. All right. Anything we got to add here before I get into some QQs?
I got a lot. I got out in that same game. Take the Bam over on rebounds. Take Julius Randle on rebounds. I like DeJounte Murray over on points. Markelle Fultz more on points and assists. I like LeBron today on more on rebounds and assists as well. So I'm giving out some of my plays. Walker Kessler over on rebounds. Domantas Sabonis over on rebounds.
We're a rebound guru.
Yeah, and then Claxton over on rebounds.
I like it. Diving deep into the boards. I approve of this. Guys, we got 10 minutes left for some QQs. I'm going to pull up the old RG Discord. So far, we've been given a ton of free content. Now we're going to answer your questions. Hit that thumbs up. We got, I don't know.
Dre, you may want to mute while you're not talking.
I can't.
Somewhere between, there we go. We have like somewhere between 300 to 3,000 people watching. So hit that like button for us. Let's go ahead and jump into the RG Discord where all the cool kids hang out. And scrolling up just a little bit here. Luke Cage says, Steven Adams for DKGPPs with Jamal Murray and Sabonis. Dre?
I was actually looking up Steven Adams right now. I like him a lot. I like his over on rebounds in this spot too. Sorry.
That's all good.
but I think he is definitely a good play in GPPs. I have him in my player pool. I don't mind him at all because that front line is weak. He should be able to have his way.
Very good.
I
All
love
right.
that.
Prodigy says FanDuel single entry. So, TJ, I'm going to give this to you since it's single entry. Fox, LeBron, and Hartenstein, or Ja, Randall, and Sims?
You honestly just have to go with whichever one starts. So you go with the first one if Hartenstein is the starting center. You go with the second one if Sims is the starting center.
Okay, very good. TJ, there's obvious blowout risk in the Cavs-Dubs game. Does that put you guys on players like JaMychal Green and Jerome?
JaMychal Green less than he had an injury designation coming into this game. I don't necessarily think that Green will get big run in a blowout. He hasn't played since December 18th. And so I like Jerome, I think, a little bit more. JaMychal Green feels like a really good fade at somewhat chalky ownership today.
Okay, very good. DK Cash question, TJ. Which players in this Golden State Cleveland game do you basically have to have in cash because they're such good values? Also, is that game going to be slow AF with Cleveland and then the not regular Golden State that we're used to?
I mean, maybe, but I think the two musts are Darius Garland and Karis LeVert. Evan Mobley is viable. Jordan Poole and Anthony Lamb are both viable, but I think the three that I want to make sure I get in are two on Cleveland side, LeVert and Garland, and then one on Golden State side, DiVincenzo. And then my next priority would be Lamb, and then maybe Poole or Kuminga, but I'd want to make sure Kuminga's in the starting lineup.
Okay. Still have a bunch of cash questions coming in. Eventually we'll get some GPPs here for Dre. In FanDuel Cash, TJ, is Jamal Murray okay even if Jokic plays? I keep landing on him as a last piece.
If Jokic plays, I don't think I would want to go with him. No, I would. If you have the $100, I think I'd want to play Ben Simmons instead of Jamal Murray if Jokic is in.
Very good. Arlo says, DK Cash, Mobley Kessler or Lamb Giddy? I will note that this question was immediately mirrored by the next person, AJ, who asked the exact same question in the exact same format. So multiple people want to know Mobley Kessler or Lamb Giddy.
That's on DK, right?
It was DK Cash, yep.
I would go Mobley Kessler, I think.
Very good. Ball says, can I go J Val and DK Cash or do I have to wait for news?
I don't love it, but if you land on it, that's fine. He obviously had Joe Val to me is always more of a tournament play just because he's got a low floor, but he's got a hugely high ceiling. And so I always prefer him in tournaments than cash. So I personally wouldn't go there, but there are definitely worse things you could do.
Sounds good. All right, here we go. We can get Dre back in it. DK GPP question coming up. It is a 3v3 for you, Dre. Garland, Mobley, Sabonis, or Morant, LeBron, and J. Rich?
Garland, Mobley, Sabonis, or who?
Morant, LeBron, J. Rich.
Probably Garland, Mobley, Sabonis.
Okay.
I would change, but yeah. I like that first one more because it's a bonus, and Mobley. But I think you should try to guard up. Sorry, just wanted to get that in there.
No, that's fair. FanDuel GPP, right back at you here. Going with a Roth build. Now we're talking. He says, rank me the scrubs of Golden State. So, Dre, rank me these three guys here: Green, Moody, Jerome.
Jerome. Green is last, so I think it's Moody. No, it's Jerome then Moody. It's tough because Moody hasn't been getting minutes. I want to put Moody first though, but it's probably going to be Jerome then Moody.
Okay, then Green. Yeah.
Yeah.
FanDuel single entry. Dre, right back at you again here. Fox, LeBron, and Hartenstein, or Morant, Randall, Sims.
Tag, I don't know who the Knicks is starting, so
that's I think that's basically that same one we had from before. That it just depends on the starter.
Yeah,
it depends on the starter. Yeah, I can't tell you that one.
Okay. And can you play in a GPP? Can you play Hartenstein and Sims, or do you just need one? And do you just want the starter?
You play one of them, and I want the starter more. Actually, either one is fine, but I would just play one of them. I'm not going to play both.
All right. Aside says FanDuel. What about in cash, TJ? You can play, like, let's say DK cash.
I'd still only play the starter.
Okay. Oh, well, shit. Anyways, aside says FanDuel cash 2v2.
How much salary do you have remaining, Roth?
$100.
Oh, 100. That leaves you, and you need 200 to get up to Zeke Naji.
Yeah, I don't think I've got it. I think I've got $100. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, I got $200. All right, switch.
So as long as Jokic doesn't play, you can roll with Zeke Naji.
Okay, I would say I'll monitor that, but I won't. So we're sticking with what I got. FanDuel cash, TJ. I do appreciate it though. LeBron and Ty Jerome, or Sabonis and Lamb?
Sabonis and Lamb.
D-Rock says, DK GBP, I want Roth's opinion. Finney Smith or Love? I hate to say it, but I think you roll Finney Smith here because I think he plays 40 minutes tonight, and hopefully he does something. Jay Sams, in FanDuel tournaments, I'm looking at somebody like John Collins. Does his matchup improve with Mitch Robb out?
Yeah.
It can, it definitely can, but he's still not worth it in my opinion.
Very good. Adam, jumping on over to the YouTube here, says, will Larry Nance get a few more minutes with Marshall out? Also, what are your thoughts on his $3,400 price tag on DK? Any interest in a little Larry Nance action?
I'm not for cash. Yeah, it's definitely just turned for like very large field stuff. Like the reason why I'm most scared is just because they've never played Nance and JV together. Like Nance has basically been exclusively playing the 5. Yeah. And so I'd maybe include him in my player pool on DraftKings running 150, but like I wouldn't be targeting him.
Okay. Very good. Let's see if we got anything in the Discord here. Beaner says LeBron or marketer. I like that. It's like marketing, but he's marketing. LeBron or marketing? TJ, I'll call it a TJ question. Braun. Seems almost like a sin to answer that the other way.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got less than 2 minutes. If you got any questions, bring them in. They can be about literally anything in the world. Cold Ink says, what are your thoughts on Bones Highland with Murray's probable tag?
I think that means Murray's probably going to play, and so we don't play Bones Highland.
Yeah, all right. That's fair. Anything else here? Waiting on a couple cues. Less than a minute. Make sure you get those lineups in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button here for free content, free show. Some of the sharpest minds in the biz and me. LeBron or Randall, DKGPP? Dre, LeBron or Randall? You like Randall. You like him.
But still Bron all day because he's gonna try to put on a show.
Oh, okay. And LeBron does that. Like he absolutely does. Like I'm gonna put on a show tonight. Kind of.
And he's gonna get up for this matchup against this team.
Yeah. He can do it. He does do it, and he's good enough to make that happen. Matt says DK tournament, Luka Levert and 4,300 left, or all right. So Dre, Luka Levert and 4,300 left, or Garland, Bane, Simmons.
Luka Levert, who's the 4,800 he has left?
I don't know. He said, I got 4,300 left, and I got to choose somebody. So Luka Levert and some rando at 4,300, or Garland, Bane, and Simmons.
I'm going to go with the second one because I don't know who the first person at the 4,800 price tag is.
Okay. That's fair. Luke Cage says, I'm rolling with Roth's Finney Smith call. Oh, God, that's horrible. He says, just because I'm the Balak whisperer, I am Matt. I'm not the Finney Smith whisperer, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, unlock just hit, but we did get starting lineup for the Knicks, and it's Brunson, Grimes, Barrett, Randall, and Sims. So Sims is the starter. No Isaiah Hartenstein. I think Hartenstein is still tournament viable, but not cash viable. Sims is cash viable. I would still only want to play one of them in my lineup, though.
Okay, very good. Hey, I want all of my kudos and all of my props when Luka gets 15 boards tonight. I'm just putting that out there.
I'm gonna tweet you if that happens because I'm gonna be very upset.
That's good. And if he only gets 5, then just don't say anything. Just like pretend I never said anything. All right. Let's see if we got anything coming up here last second before we bounce. DK Cash right now. There's a post-lock question. DK Cash right now. I've got Ja and Giddey. If Joker is out, is it okay to go Murray Sabonis?
Yes, I like Murray Sabonis better.
Okay. Chinatown says
only if Jokic is out.
We're correct. Chinatown says, do we want Sims or JaMychal and Cash on DK? It's Sims.
Sims.
Yep. Cruz says, Roth, have a shiner for me tonight. I've got a whole 18-pack of shiners just waiting. That is prescient. I rarely have shiners on hand, but I do tonight. So I may do exactly that. And with that, I think we're going to bounce. So for TJ, for Dre, for our wonderful production. What up?
Before we go, one thing regarding whether you can play Sims and Hartenstein together. We both said no here, but I do think it's worth noting that this is on DraftKings specifically, but a very knowledgeable Notorious has the tag on there right now. Robinson is out for the Knicks tonight. Rather than giving yourself a headache trying to decide between Hartenstein and Sims, why not play both on DraftKings? They're both capable of averaging close to a fantasy point per minute in this matchup, and we can essentially get 44 to 48 center minutes for a combined price of only $6K.
But you're taking 2 roster spots.
I agree. Right. For me, it's not for me, but I mean, Noto's obviously very intelligent as well. So if you like it, there's that.
They both for 3K though. So if they're both for 3K, theoretically, if they give you both 20 to 25, you're not dead. You actually might be alive for something crazy. I might do that now, just in one lineup.
Okay, I like it. Cooler full of Pacificos is what I'm reading, and that sounds good to me. So we are going to bounce on out of here for TJ, for Dre, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.